You want a more creative life? I do. I wake up and it torments me how beautiful my dreams are. Rolling over, I open my social media and see these almost curatedly precise people that I've chosen to follow, whose dream lives sort of dazzle and drain me at the same time. You might also want more from every single part of your life right now. But here we are. Here we are. We've woken up on the beginning of our longest adventure. The specific pain of those artists living the life that you long for is literally the focus of my breakfast when I eat it. You live between the press releases of your favourite artists. Isn't it the life? But what you were doing in that dream, in whatever it was, be it reading your poems in a small candlelit pub to a grinning audience, or slashing your guitar in Wembley Arena, or, potting geraniums along a medieval wall, we can call that God's work. But the difference in dissonance between that and life as it is enough pain to put someone into hospital and then rehab and then back, disillusioned and depressed. As an artist from London, I'm currently trying to nurture a group of creatives, because for me, mental health and the crisis of imagination in the modern world is terrifying and real. We are rich, but painfully unequal, and our imaginations, as much as our bank balances, are impoverished. For me, the answer is the creative life. And I want to be a mentor for myself as well, that together we can deepen and nurture our creative practices. So what are dreams? Neuroscience tells us, modern gods, that night dreams and daydreams come from the same place, the default mode network of the brain, the DMN, known also as the imaginative mind. It's the fields of the brain that activate when we're both safe and not doing anything else. When there's a lack of external stimuli, the brain looks in, turns inward. And how do we feel? Well, how do we feel? What are our friends up to these days? When did I last eat a Cornish pasty? When's our next proper adventure holiday going to be? What if our clothes picked our outfits for us? What if two omnipotent words worth being bored for, words worth throwing away a phone for, words worth running away from every gossipy drama, worth protecting, shelter and nurture your daydreams? What if? But dreams, and we'll come back to dreams generally, because I think they are just this sort of non-specific stuff from heaven or from some other place that just enrich and direct our lives, as well as torment us, as I say. Dreams, they are only half of creativity. The other half is in the doing. And full creativity is realizing dreams. The word realizing coming from res in Latin, the word for stuff, for matter. We make our dreams real by making them res. We turn our dreams into the stuff of the world. Such stuff as dreams are made on, Shakespeare wrote. And for him, what did that mean? It meant actors and props and costumes and people's lines and the stage, the great globe itself. The physical matter of dream making, of a dream workshop. Grounding your dreams then in reality is no compromise, because your reality is your pure fingerprint, snowflake uniqueness. Darwin's idea of adaptation explains why no mammal is this sort of generalized amorphous animal thing. That we are all extremely highly specialized for the exact environment and needs that we have. And this is what differentiates you from your idols, from your role models, from your mentors. I grew up wanting to be Bob Dylan, and now I know that those doors that open for him would never be the same for me or anyone else. The hatches and avenues through the complex thickets of his life, the Minnesota winters, singing to Guthrie in Brooklyn State Hospital, the Greenwich Village, into the civil rights movement, into the never-ending tour. Someone rose to that hero's journey then, and that way is shut. But who am I? Where am I going? Well, that's my own adventure. And to be unique, you have to follow your Tao, the road that is through, not out of, your reality. A path into art that comes out of your life is as real as it is. Here there are no cliches except those knowing ones, said with a wink. No shortcuts, no idealized fakeness, nothing scrubbed out or idealized. Your life and work need the disillusionment. They need you to start from nothing, because it's not nothing. Your nothing is a starting point, a midpoint, a realization of such rich lived-inness that if you showed anyone else in the world, they would be overwhelmed by it. The fact that your auntie, wasn't she fun? The joke that someone told on the beach in your childhood, and the sand that's still there under the floor covers of the family car. The regretted career, the minutiae of all that is you. That's it. This is it. Here we are. In fact, I can't even stand reading books where the characters don't do the washing up. Or if the author doesn't even know that the characters are in a world where they have to think about the washing up. Doing washing up saves your life. And it saves your characters from unreality. Just don't make them martyrs over it. Lean on the quote. I think it's Chekhov, who said that to be a better artist, you should be a better person. To embrace radical acceptance, which is, you could call the artist's view, you'll laugh at how odd the universe's plan is, how specific it is. So somehow we had to go from the nucleosynthesis of helium, a few minutes after the Big Bang, to the formations of galaxies and stars and planets, to Earth and its ice ages, to the speciation of every mammal and plant and humans in the end, the invention of apples and tractors and no entry signs, to the formation of the Beatles, to all their tribute acts, not even mentioning the open mic nights every night of the week around the world and every continent, singing Beatles songs and other songs. And from this perspective, the art teacher in a small village helping a girl mix her paints, or a grandad planting roses, have as much of a role in the grand scheme of things as the Dalai Lama or the head of the World Bank. You just feel the wonder of how specific and multifarious the universe is. For me, when I'm writing, it's finding that perfect metaphor or analogy, like a pretty stone on a beach that no one else has taken, that I'll keep for a few years on its geological journey. Or when I'm printing as a publisher, it's the journey literally comes down to finding tiny little pieces of lead and lining them up. And if I don't get the right ones, then the whole thing will just sort of collapse and fall apart on the floor. If you think about when you're like going for a hike, you say, okay, I've got a general idea, we're going south or we're going to that town. But on the ground, you've got to pick, do we take this road or that road around the woods? Do we climb over this little stile? Do we go down that path over there or even take a taxi because it's raining? And here, there are no right answers, only different views. From this view, this deep breath, step back view, there's no wealth or status to chase, no perfectionism. And that is creativity. Let the universe just flow. Flow with the go. With that same hydrogen and helium from 13 billion years ago, and in 13 billion more will be something else. And that's not to say that we shouldn't be angry about the state of things. In fact, maybe the artist's view makes you even more angry about the injustices of the world, maybe even more aware of your own complicity and investment in the world's wrongs. But you can't also really blame anyone at this point. We've all been shaped by this huge unknowable environment, which makes us furious at how wrong it is, but also only able to change it when we're aware. Because humans are fallen angels. We're almost omniscient, but nothing like omnipotent or benevolent. Even omniscience is frail. The universe gave us awareness, not all knowledge. Perspective, not wisdom. So the end isn't status and is not success. The end of your river is the ocean. From the specific back to the universal. From the self back to the self, capital S. We are all universe. That's why you can't flee your dreams, or your reality either. These are your materials. Your self includes the washing up. All artists are flops. All art imperfect. Look up anyone you respect, and you'll find those small bits of success, but mainly you'll see this big gap, constant, unavoidable gap, what you might call failure, and what artists call life. So, do the doable. March on. Find the flow. Do it for the plot. Start where you are. Flow with the go. And I wanted to finish as I said I would earlier, with this sort of call to creative practice. So using this sort of moment that we're in to kind of deepen and engage our creative practice. So I thought I'd write a poem on this sort of piece of scrap paper about what I said I'd touch on and I couldn't, because it's almost inexpressible. And therefore we kind of have to talk about it. And it is that idea of the dream itself, where the dream comes from. But if you'd rather just sort of sketch something or do something else, go for it. I think that we can let the imaginative mind, that default mode network, sort of just take over and sit back and watch the river flow. If you do have anything that inspires you from all this, you can also email me below, and I'd love to just see what you've done. Okay, so I don't know how I'm going to film this thing, ideally. Which is from here. Oh, fucking thing. I have just to hold it. May I just hold it? Kind of naff, isn't it? Okay, I'll just show you as I go. Maybe I'll film bits. As I say, poetry just walks up to the inexpressible, tries to put it into words and fails. That's my best definition of poetry. And I was thinking about the fact, okay, yeah, we admit we wake up with dreams and they torment us. But one, what are the dreams? And two, where do they come from? Which might be the same thing. Because they are non-specific. But then they're specific to that like code inside us that is our passions. The first one I had was water seeping. I've wrote a little note. So it's like water seeping up through the soil. I'll read the whole thing. Or plumes of heat warming the spring from below. It knows you and it doesn't care about your situation. It's naughty but fun. We put it into words because symbols fail. If we hadn't been given the alphabet, we'd use mythic creatures too. It's not a lion, it's a sphinx. And it's told me to do what I can't. I'll see you at the bottom of the deep. Okay, maybe it's a sonnet. That's a long... How many lines have we got there? I haven't got 4 lines. I could expand it. Okay, we could do a sonnet. These sonnety shaped. It's going to be sonnet shaped thing. So we've got 3 parts. Do we start with the torment or do we start with the joy? Okay, leave me alone is a good way to start. Leave me alone, how dare you. Leave me alone, how dare you. Okay, that's 3 beats. Leave me alone, how dare you. Just doing hitting out my hand to get the rhythm. We're doing a sonnet of 3s. Leave me alone, how dare you. What's it called when you're like floating in the ocean? Cast away myself. Ooh. Set myself adrift. Leave me alone, how dare you. Dare me to set me adrift. It's not great, but we'll get there. You've got ift and oo. Ift and oo. In the... Gosh, what I got so far. To the sunburn and sea scratch. Sunburn and sea scratch. Okay, an oo. Rescue. Ooh, rescue. And then ift. It's kind of cheating, the rhyming dictionary. Ift. Gift. And it has to be gift. Rift. Sift. Biffed. No, kift. Miffed. Leave me alone. How dare you dare me to set me adrift to the sunburn and sea scratch of rescue. Sunburn and sea scratch of rescue. Where my is a gift. My is a gift. Okay, but there is a metaphor here for safe, comfortable disillusionment. It's not fair. Ooh. It's not fair that enough is too much enough, that holy Tiengiless nomads, as in nomads from Kazakhstan without any Tengies, obviously, have a something view of the stars. But I realise that stars doesn't rhyme with enough, and so cosmos and enough. Is that good enough for you? Cosmos. Fluff. Puff or fluff for the universe? Fluff. It's not fair that privileges... This is actually, if you look at it, it's a anti-fraud leaflet from my bank. It's not fair. privilege is poverty, that enough is too much enough, that holy Tiengulus nomads afford the best view of the Milky Way's fluff. Okay, it's not great, but we're pushing on. And then something about who speaks this and where from. Who speaks this and where from? Okay, I'm going to say the magma. That one I like, the magma plumes heating the spring. The wordless, speechless truth teller. And my Tolkien brain wants to say the crownless again shall be king. The magma plumes heating the spring. I want to say chorus, maybe. It's just an attempt. In silence, the chorus will sing. Okay. 2 lines, 3 beats, 6 beats overall, both rhyming, then we're done. Just like the Torment, maybe end with the Torment. But it's with you. Wish me luck, I'm going in. Okay. I've signed it off. It's imperfect, as I know from my own silly essay. You ready? I haven't even finished it. Leave me alone, how dare you, dare me to set me adrift, to the sunburn and sea scratch of rescue, where my is a gift, and is the sort of calling. Ooh, siren call. It's not fair. Privilege is poverty. That enough is too much enough. That holy Tiengulus nomads afford the best view of the Milky Way's fluff. Okay, that line is too long. Who speaks this and where from? The magma plumes heating the spring. The wordless, speechless truth teller. In silence the chorus will sing. You'll drown with me in giddy torment, my company for the descent. Now there you go. Let me know. I'm sure you wrote a better poem than me. But yes, thank you very much for joining me. And this is going to be a fun adventure. It already is. It's already abysmal, pathetic, and beautiful. Let the torment continue. Huzzah!